Amen.
To the great creator that goes by many names, Mungu, Olodumare, Amma, Yankumpan, for you we say Ashe, for waking us up this morning.
Meidän ilmainen kiitos Jumala, Amma täällä. Kiitos, että saamme olla yhdessä. Oppia toisiltamme ihan valon ja auringon toisissamme. Rakastaa.
Life is water, water is life. We cannot live without water. We cannot live without air. We cannot live without many things.
Ki bobo wa shedara nino nkonti angeloni. Ki bobo wa konkon. Ki bobo wa shedara nino àwọn ìgbésí ayé wa. Ká lọ síwájú, ká ní ìtẹ̀síwájú. Àṣẹ. Àṣẹ. Àṣẹ.
I come to you asking for your guidance and clarity and wisdom that you know, but I cannot see.
Yama viu que aquele é mais chimo. Ei, comia o alegria qua. Minha telo. É chifa pega mi bako.
Victorious, and sending libations for this womanhood retreat, and I hope that the seed she has planted and that we have all helped to plant with her continue to grow and flourish in the spirit of African liberation.
In the beginning, it kind of reminded me of like the feeling that I felt like when I laid down for the CS. Like you don't know what's happening. There's people touching you, and it's all so. In some way, I was like, it brought my mind back to that moment when I was laying on the operation table and I was shaking. I was scared. I was like, oh, like just I'm kind of numb from the waist down, but I can still feel like pulling and tugging and all that. And there was a moment where I was like feeling like I feel like this is the. So when they did the surgery, of course, like they opening you up to get the baby out. But at that moment when I was doing the ceremony, I felt like this is the spiritual closing. Like it felt like spiritual surgery. That's what like a word that kept coming to me when I was laying there. I was like, it feels like I'm in like spiritual surgery, basically. Like I'm getting put back together spiritually, and it felt like one doctor, basically. Although there were so many different people who were all touching and putting their energy, it didn't feel like that. Like I couldn't tell where one person's hands ended, another began. Who was this? Is that Victorious? Is that? I don't know who it was. I don't really know. It was just a divine experience. I started to hear my mother, because my mother transitioned when I was about 4 months pregnant with her. My mother transitioned. So that was hard. So I'm like, I'm pregnant. I was like, well, this is the worst time for your mom to transition. It's like, this is the moment where you really, need your mother around. But I just started hearing her and feeling her very strongly. And because I remember even when I was going through my contractions, I was like calling my mother, like, Mama, like it hurts, it's painful, like how did you do this for us? Like, oh my gosh, I love you for all that you did, the labor, the contractions, whatever, the CS that you had to go through to bring us to the world, like, and we never knew. We didn't know how much you suffered and struggled to bring us here. And then we back talking you, giving you issues and all this, like. I really just, like, during birth, I became very grateful for my mother. Yeah. And I think it's almost a situation until you give birth, you don't really understand what your mother, and then take care of a child. You don't really think what your mother had to do. There was a moment where I felt like that, where I wasn't really sure if I was in my body. And I started to feel that, like, spirits hovering over me, right? Which at first I couldn't find out. I wasn't sure who it was. It just felt like something hovering. But the first presence was my mother. And it was just, I just kind of felt her saying, like, you know, baby, it's going to be okay. You just got to let go. That's what she kept saying. You just have to let go. And, you know, I was like, but are you okay where you are now? Like, this is all, like, happening. Like, are you okay where you are? You know? So I was like, she was coming to check on me, and I was worried about her. Like, have you gone to the other side? She was like, yeah, I'm here, and I'm fine. And I was just very grateful.